Community Forum on KCCC 930 AM, sponsored by Eddy County, honoring God, country, and family, thriving with industry since 1889.
Hi, I'm Hattie, and I am here with Shannon. What are you here for today?
I am here to tell Carlsbad about Angelman syndrome. And so we're going to go live here. I want to share online what we're doing, so let's do that.
I love it. It's so much
fun.
So
bring as much awareness as we can.
Exactly.
Okay, all right. So we are here at KCCC with Miss Hattie, and we are getting ready to an interview to talk about the official proclamation that we got here. So I just wanted to bring you guys on live if you want to watch and see what we're talking about. So enjoy the show. Get both in there, but I guess you just get to look at my face. All right. All right, we'll put Trey right there. So
that's perfect.
So yeah, that's perfect.
So maybe we should start with Trey.
Yes, okay. So this is Trey. He's actually Elson Heyman Newton III. So he's named after, my grandfather. And Trey has a rare genetic disorder called Angelman syndrome. And so I reached out. Trey lives in Virginia, and he has to have 24-hour care, and he will for the rest of his life. And so this is a very important topic, and I reached out, though this has national awareness. We have been asked to reach out to the local cities and counties to get them to make official proclamations that February 15th is Angelman Syndrome Day. So I think the best way to learn a little bit about Trey is to read the official proclamation that Mayor Rick Lopez gave me. So what do you think about that?
I love that.
Okay. Hear ye, hear ye. We are here to proclaim the official proclamation. Let's see. Okay, so let's get serious here. All right. So this is how it reads. And I'd like to thank the city for doing this because I don't know, what they did is they researched it on their own and came to their own conclusion at my recommendation. And they wrote this proclamation honoring some of the characteristics of what it means to have Angelman syndrome.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Okay, so it reads, Proclamation. Whereas Angelman syndrome is a rare neurogenic disorder that primarily impacts the nervous system, affecting approximately 1 in 15,000 live births or an estimated 500,000 people worldwide. So Trey was misdiagnosed until he was 28 years old. And so what happens when they get misdiagnosed young with things like cerebral palsy and epilepsy and, all these other, developmental delays, they end up on medications they shouldn't be on. And this affects them for the rest of their life. And these are anti-seizure medications. Seizures are a big part of it. And so let me continue a little bit with the proclamation. So whereas Angelman syndrome is a spectrum disorder, and affected children and adults can experience a wide range of symptoms, including issues with movement and balance. They have severe motor and speech impairments, disrupted sleep cycles, and seizures and other associated conditions. So Trey did not sleep alone until he was 13 years old. And he had to have constant physical, he's very loving. And so we call it the headlock. So he puts you in a love headlock. And so he comes up to you and he puts his arm around your neck, and then he will just sit there and he will hold you like that for as long as you will let him, or something else gets his attention. And so you had to fall asleep with him, rubbing his beautiful blonde curls. And it was a very difficult on our family. It tore our family apart completely, because my sister and I at a very young age, I was the eldest, but we had to take care of him. And everybody did their part the best that they could. We're all doing the best we can with what tools we have available to us. And our parents are just children making the same, mistakes and passing them on to us. But my sister and I had to, mature very young to take care of him. And so this is one of the proclamations. It says, whereas individuals living with Angelman syndrome and their families and caretakers often carry a large share of the burden of finding a medical expert, funding research, and raising public awareness to support research and effective and affordable treatment. So this is something, when I posted in the Carlsbad group, there was a lot of activity because there are some local angels here and I haven't been able to meet them yet.
I didn't know that.
Yes, there are a few local angels here, and and there were other people who had experience with children or adults. My brother's 41 now. And so, it's nice to find out where people get support because, like, for our family, there were no resources, and this is before cell phones, this is before internet, this is and we're in the country, okay, not to sound backwoods, but we still don't have internet on that road.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, the resources were slim, and we just needed this, so he's very physical, so he's stronger than I was at 11 years old. And this is why I'm always so hyper, because I learned in the years my brain was developing to constantly chase him.
Oh.
And so it becomes this, over stimulation or whatever. So with Trey, he, things basic things you wouldn't even think of, like giving him a haircut. Okay, so I follow this guy on TikTok, and he shows how hard it is to work with certain kids on the spectrum, who need a haircut. And so that's something that we had to take on as a family unit, is just giving him a haircut. And this is, it's kind of a crazy process because you have to go in and get it with humor and, cut one lock at a time, It takes a lot of patience. But I guess let me move on here to the next proclamation, unless you have.
Yeah, all right, let's get through that.
Okay, yeah. All right, so individuals living with Angelman syndrome often have unique behavioral characteristics. So this includes a very happy demeanor that may involve frequent laughing, smiling, and high excitability. So if my brother were to come in this room, I can tell you he would think you were funny. So he would come in the door, he would get right in your face, and I mean look you in your soul, in your eyes, and probably make you cry. And he's going to read you, and he's going to laugh his eyeballs off because you are a beautiful soul. And he would be excited about your little kitty on your shirt. He would be, excited that you're colorful, and your glasses. He would not like your glasses, though. So the first thing he would do is take those right off your face. We weren't allowed to wear hats. We weren't allowed to wear glasses. My grandma could get away with it a little tiny bit, but he didn't like that. It was like...
Is it because it obscures who you are?
I'm not sure. Maybe it is, because I trust so much of what his instincts were that I didn't understand at the time, and that goes down to eating with your hands, and that's a whole nother wormhole. But there's value to eating with your hands, and touching your food and passing on, your prayers through touch in your food. And but that seems like such a harsh thing when you're trying to teach him to use a fork and he can't hold it still. It's just let him eat with his hands, But he had a thing about glasses and a thing about hats, and it just created my sister and I have talked about him just having control over us, because he didn't have control, no words, so they don't have any speech. I don't know that it's all for that way for everybody, but for my brother, there's no speech. Yes would be and the louder it is, the more he wants it. And then he uses a lot of physical expressions with his hands, and mostly it's just sounds. So there are no words, but there's a lot of communication. And if he's not the loudest one in the room, he's going to get louder and louder and louder and louder until somebody pays attention, for sure. And there's a beautiful story in my book that I've written about. It's called Angel Shenanigans, and it's about caregiving for somebody that needs 24-hour care, and not the lazy kind. I'm not saying there's any lazy kind of care, but he's just so active.
Right.
It's so much to keep up with, and So I break those things down into categories of health and how to manage that, and how to, be able to divide your time into the categories like social, mental, emotional, physical, and then being in the now. So, you have to find unique ways to manage your capacity when it's always at, like 120 or whatever it takes to keep up with this Tasmanian devil. All right, we have one more proclamation from the kind Rick Lopez. So this one is that symptoms of Angelman syndrome may begin to appear in infancy, but on average, it can take several years to receive an accurate diagnosis, with many individuals initially diagnosed due to similarities with the other conditions, underscoring the importance of genetic testing. And then it says, in Carlsbad, and it says, I, Mayor Richard Lopez, do hereby proclaim February 15th, 2026 as Angelman Syndrome Day. In Carlsbad, encouraging all residents to recognize this day by raising awareness, supporting individuals and families affected by Angelman syndrome, and promoting continued research and education efforts within our community. And that is the end of the proclamation.
That's beautiful. That's really nice that you did that.
Thank you. Yeah, it was. And they put it in a frame and sealed it. It was really cool. Yeah.
So you mentioned that there were some angels in Carlsbad or the area. Are they in like managed homes here or with their family?
So I only know this through rumor because of my involvement with CARC. And I actually reached out to CARC to see if there were any angels in the area last year when I was here on Angelman Syndrome Day. And so, the mayor responded pretty quick, but I tried to get it going last year, and it just wasn't enough time. But CARC told me about the residents, and then in the group I started to connect, and there were a couple that had passed on. But, so CARC is a great resource because, for my brother, you're talking about 41 years old. My dad's still got to be there. Like, we can't, the care is, you don't have good resources for the care. You can't pay enough money to the workers, and there are so many limits on what's available. And so my father has to still be a caregiver for him when caregivers don't show up. So he will forever be, there. And they have full life expectancy. So most angels do not have any shorter life than you and I.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's just so often that their lives are cut short by rare diseases. So that's really phenomenal, really, to have a full breadth of life, or full length of life.
Yes, it is.
It's not necessarily the full breadth of life. Obviously, he has to live in the home with his father and his caregivers. Does he get to get out at all?
So he does have his own home. This is kind of a technicality of how it works in Virginia. Okay. And so he has to have shifts of workers that come and exchange shifts to keep his home running. So we have to keep his refrigerator. So one of the symptoms of Angelman syndrome is similar to Prader-Willi. And what this is when you have an unsatisfied appetite. So he can eat and eat and eat. And he could pick up a 2 liter of Pepsi and he could drink that thing in probably 3 or 4 gulps.
Oh my goodness.
And, it's cute, it's funny, and it is terrible to manage. So we literally have to tape his refrigerator shut. His cabinets have to have locks on them. Because he would just eat it is a never satisfied belly. Oh. Yeah, and so it's a lot for a worker, to do. And then you have to be very clean. He can eat with a fork, but he's very messy. If he has that chance to dump that food on that table, he's doing it. If he can paint, pictures in the mashed potatoes, he's going to do it, And so when I say, if you're not watching, it's like a toddler for the rest of your life. I'm not saying he's not independent. He is, and he has his own comprehension. He's not, he's so special. He's so genius in his own way. He has compassion, and he just can't use words,
It's pretty amazing. Sorry, I had to check that just to make sure it wasn't my son.
Okay.
But I sympathize a lot with people who have to take care of one of their family members. I lived near someone who had to take care of one of their siblings, and so they did that thing where they grew up really fast.
Yeah.
Because in the 80s when we had public service announcements where we had to remind people that they had children and that they shouldn't have
Yeah, where are your kids?
Yeah, exactly.
That's how my town was.
So, it was like she was really left with the burden and I don't even know what they had at the time because I was young and I wasn't curious.
Yeah.
But they had a full-time live-in help that changed out in shifts too.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just, it's a lot for the children that grow up with the people affected.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Everybody is affected.
Yeah.
So it really hit my heart when you talked about you and your sister.
Oh, yeah.
Growing up fast to take care of them, because I've seen people who had to do that. And
Yeah.
It's not an easy life, but you can tell that Trey's had a great effect on you because you're like absolutely filled with joy. Every time I
Oh, well,
see
thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah,
Yes.
and you clearly must have learned that from him.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You learn to find the joy in everything. I mean, yeah, for sure.
So that February 15th is Angelman Syndrome Day in Carlsbad, and how can we show support?
So you can show support for our angels by lighting up blue. If you have LED bulbs in your house or on your porch or outside of your business, if you have your Govee lights and you can control your things there, you can light up blue. And so Denise at the new Main Street Art Director and at the Cavern Theaters, we picked out this beautiful shade of turquoise and royal blue. And so if you don't mind, run by the Cavern Theater and look up and think of the angels. And just what I really hope to help with is help kids to understand, a lot of time these behaviors of like making fun of are passed down from the parents. And, we really need to create some accountability for this kind of thing. And every time I see a little kid or somebody like stand up, for someone in special needs, it just lights my heart up a little bit,
Absolutely.
And so we just, we got to really help kids and adults like know how to stand up without, you can do it in a loving way. And Carlsbad is great at supporting special needs. CARC offers where they will come around and like refresh your plants and all of that, which is great because then you're like, we need that exposure because like everybody wanted to stare at Trey, and Trey wants you to stare at him. He's going to be like, look at me. But the parents often, smack the kid and don't stare. Well, how are you supposed to learn what it is, And so we can't keep ignoring it and like smacking our awareness somewhere else. We can't. We need to really say like, okay, well, stand up for those who can't stand up for themselves. Just understand that they need a little more patience. I've seen people lose their patience a little bit here at the grocery stores and places where special needs are incorporated, and I think that's incredible. But we have to remember to slow down and be more patient because we cannot ask for inclusion and like really be so passionate about how beautiful that is and then be impatient when we need an extra minute to like handle something, And I've had some ridiculous conversations and so Valerie and Therese at the Women for Better Carlsbad this week, the theme of their speaking was like being too much, right? It's like they suggested, go to the person that's a little too much in the room because they definitely have an interesting story or experience to share, and so now you understand why I'm too much, because Trey was too much and you develop these behaviors to manage that,
Right.
And for me as an adult, everything comes down to gaming. I manage my entire life, with a game on my kitchen table that helps me to be present in each category, because I wasn't allowed to do that when I was a kid. You had to go to the next survival. What's next for survival? Did I put the top on the peanut butter, or is Mom's brand new couch now covered in peanut butter? Because it probably is.
That's a lot of pressure on kids.
Oh, yeah.
It is. I think it's really important if children are not growing up with somebody who is developmentally disabled, that they have the opportunity to meet people who are.
Yes.
And to talk to them. Mm-hmm. You know, like, I love my son. I'm going to brag. He's just so great about people who are a little slower or need anything. And he's always like so patient and kind.
Yeah.
Which I really appreciate. I think the only time he wasn't was he didn't realize that because they were autistic but super high functioning. Mm-hmm. And so he didn't realize when he gave somebody a hard time about something, and then he felt so bad.
Oh.
Because the other person's like, you just made fun of an autistic.
Oh, no.
Like, I would never do that.
Right.
You know? And so, like, being open and honest, like, I encourage him to ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, I remember growing up and there'd be, like, you know, a veteran. Because the time I grew up, there were a lot of Vietnam vets who would come home, and you'd see somebody, you know, without the lower part of their leg.
Yeah.
You know, and like we would just like do the thing where you look away, and then I was like, why would I ignore another human being?
Yeah.
You know, and so I started talking to them, and you know, sometimes I would learn about what they had done while they were overseas, like what their role was in our armed conflict, and like it just helps you remember that people are human.
Yeah.
And that we're really all in this together.
For sure.
I'm always saying that all the time. Like, we're all in this together.
Who wants to feel ignored? Nobody really wants to feel ignored. I mean, come on, you know. And that's connection. And, you know, all it takes is a minute just to slow down and have a little more presence and awareness. And, you know, we're always rushing through life because we're surviving, you know, but we have to slow down and breathe. And I feel like these little blessings in our community, when you come up on someone in special needs, that's the moment that, like, life is saying, hey, you know, stop, connect, get involved. What do they have to say? Because I guarantee you it's going to blow your mind or put you somewhere in a different spirit, you know, because I've had the most ridiculous conversations, you know, walking out to the parking lot at Albertsons, you know, hearing about some music, you know, this long, detailed music description. So the special needs groups, they really offer something unique, and if they can give conversation or not, it doesn't matter. Like, don't be scared to connect, because most of them really want you to. And if they don't, they'll make it clear. That's one of the beautiful things. There is no guessing. You know, I always say I am an open book. You know, I don't know how to hide who I am. You know, I don't. And that's what that's what they'll teach you. You know, like, hey, what is it? Let's talk about it, because this is who I am. You know. Yeah. And yeah.
I love that. February 15th is. What day of the week is that?
I think it's a day after Valentine's. I think it's a Saturday. Is it a Saturday?
I think it's a
My phone's
Sunday.
over there.
I'm going to look it up. I want everybody to put out their blue lights. You might have a string of lights you can put in your window. Or you mentioned the Govee lights, so you can change your colors. I drove by the cavern last night. It was beautifully lit. I thought of you immediately.
Yes, good.
It was so great. I got a picture. I'm going to put it with the post.
Oh, cool. Yeah. And tag us, like tag the radio station and tag us in the post where you lit up blue for us so we can see it. Yeah. And I'm going to be riding around on my trike, and I've actually lit my whole trike up with these lights so I can do the blue and turquoise. And so I'm going to ride over to the Cavern Theater, and anybody else that tells me they lit up blue, if I can get there on my bike, I'm going to do it to take a picture.
Oh, I love that. Definitely, everybody reach out. Tag KCCC930 AM. And Shannon, do you have a handle you want them to tag? Or
you know, I'm Shannon Newton on Facebook, and Shenanigans Adventures is actually, if you want to follow on YouTube, I have a nice little deep dive that can teach you a lot about, it's kind of a review of the edit of my first book, and it'll tell you a lot about Trey and Angelman syndrome. So at Shenanigans Adventures. Yep.
And thank you for mentioning the book again. I wanted to ask, is that published?
Not yet. I'm my editor's looking at it, but she's going through a lot herself right now, and she's the only one for me. So I'm going to wait until she's ready, and Yeah, it's mostly ready, though, other than a few complaints.
That's great. Well, you'll have to definitely come back and talk to us afterward.
Yes, I'd love to.
Available?
Yes.
I would love that.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So is there anything else we want to tell people before we wrap up? Because we're almost out of our time.
I think we said enough. They're probably sick of listening to
All
us,
right.
so be kind.
Once again, February 15th, which I think is a Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Put out your blue lights.
Yes.
And let's celebrate Trey and all the people like him.
Yes. Thank you so much. Happy Angelman Syndrome Day. Happy birthday, Trey.
Happy Angelman Syndrome Day.
You're listening to Community Forum on KCCC 930 AM, sponsored by Eddy County, honoring God, country, and family, thriving with industry since 1889.